Welcome, guys. It's another episode of the Neutral Corner. It's Danny Glover.
It's Big Lex, and today we have a special guest, Archie, the sharpshooter sharp.
Welcome, guys. It's another episode of the Neutral.
What's happening, lads? How you doing?
Yeah, all good,
Thanks for
man.
having me on.
Yeah. No problem, mate.
Good to see you, man. Been a long time.
Very long
coming.
time, mate.
Yeah. So, you're a young man who I've known for a very long time, since you was like a little kid. That's why when I saw you, I was like, rah, like you're a proper bit. Obviously I see you, you're a man, but when I see you in the flesh,
Daniel
like,
Sargent. Daniel Sargent, mate. 100%.
Come on, the Sarge.
Sarge.
So yeah, man, we're gonna let the people know more about you, more in depth, and just talk about your journey, your career thus far, future plans. So we like to start from the beginning. So where did you grow up? Where's your family from and stuff like that?
So originally Welling. That's where obviously I was based. My first amateur club was, as you know, Eltham Amateur Boxing Club.
Yep.
Started there for, I think I was about 7 or 8 when my dad took me there. And yeah, that was where I kind of started off most of my amateur career. And then there's been a few journeys on the way. I was just saying there about the Lynn. Trying to think, I was at West Ham for a little bit. So yeah, there's been a few gyms on the way. But still with Richard Sawyer, as you know very well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've been with Richard since day one, and then the team's just kind of expanded ever since. So yeah.
So where's your like family from? Are they like Irish, English?
No, English. So all English, but well, you don't know what's. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. That's what you get told. Do you know what I mean? But no, we're just basically around that Blackfern, Welling. That's kind of where everyone's been born, and everyone's goes to my dad's out in Spain now, so everyone's doing their own thing. And
Whereabouts in Spain?
He's near Alicante.
Oh, right, sweet.
So he's been out there for a few years now. My mum's and my stepdad are still over in Welling.
Okay.
My brothers and they're all getting older now. I've got 4 kids myself, married, so I ain't that little young kid anymore. You know? It's madness, isn't it?
Absolute mad.
Crazy,
yeah.
it goes quick, mate.
So you grew up in so you was born in Sidcup.
Yeah, born in Sidcup, but Welling was like, I went Welling school, primary schools all for Welling.
So what was it like growing up in like Welling, like around your, did you grow up like on a estate or just like a close?
Do you know what, listen, you're from the manor yourself, Plumstead, Woolwich, that was all on my doorstep, so that was kind of where I was
knocking
to and
about.
from, yeah, and then Sidcup, I was a lot over Sidcup at the time, as well. I was as a kid, I was here, there and everywhere, you know, just everywhere, so, yeah, I spent my fair childhood travelling around and just like I say, everywhere.
So
I've got a lot of friends from Thamesmead and Abbey Wood, so yeah, just like I say, mate, here, there and everywhere.
Yeah. So then what about like school and that? I was, say, primary school, secondary school?
Yeah, so primary schools I was over at Welling, and then for a little while we was over like Jordan's Woodway, Bexley, so... And I went Hextable Secondary School, which is now closed down. That was in Hextable near Swanley. And then I spent my first 6 months in year 7 at that school. And then I went to Welling and stayed at Welling ever since. And then I've left school, done the Frank Bruno Boxing Academy for a couple of years after school over at Alpington. I was over there, and then, just took the boxing full time, turned pro at 20. And then the rest is history.
Our school, what kind of student would you say you was? You know?
Do you know what? I've never had any trouble, really. I had a couple of odd fights. Everyone knew I boxed, you know. So boxing was a big thing for me. You know what I mean? I never had ag. I was always, I was a bit of a, what should I say? Boxing saved me for sure. Do you know what I mean? Fighting on the streets, doing whatever, all the things you shouldn't be doing, I was doing.
Yeah, got you.
I was definitely not an easy kid. I know that. I think Dan might remember me a bit mouthy as a young kid. I was never big either, so I had to
very confident.
Yeah, I had to learn how to fight. You know, I needed to fight. So I played rugby as well as my boxing. And I got to a stage where I was winning national titles. I had to give the rugby
Rugby
up
up,
because of injuries and things.
Would if you didn't do boxing, do you think you would have made it in rugby? You think you could have made it in rugby?
No. Too small, mate. Them fellas now,
No, as a
mate.
kid, he was proper small.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was small. Listen, I ain't big now, but I was small as a kid. So I had to learn how to fight. Mouth on me like anything. School was good for me, really. I've always had it in my mindset I'll be a professional boxer. So even though the teacher used to say to me, Arch, you've got to do your lessons. I think if I actually done the research and done my lessons properly, I reckon I would have done well. But I had it in my head. It was just going into school, messing around, walked away with a few GCSEs, but boxing was always my main drive.
Good,
It was like boxing or nothing.
Yeah. So talking about boxing, like I remember this very clearly. Like you didn't have the easiest debut at all. Like it was down at the Marlow Room / Plastic Red. And your first bout was against this, you guys know him as Romeo Romero. Now, I'm telling you, do you remember?
Yeah,
This
Romeo.
kid, he was, I've never seen, how old are you, like 10?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I've never seen
10.
a 10-year-old hench, like his chest was pumping out his vest, his paps was pumping out his vest,
Yeah.
his arms. I remember your dad, Danny, was like, I'm not sure about
suspicion
this.
here.
I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure about this bout, you know? I'm not sure about this bout. And I was like, oh, this kid looks like some kind of ringer. Like he looked way older. Like he just looked too developed. And I was even worried. And then you outboxed him.
Yeah.
Like, and Romero, he's unbeaten as a pro. He finished unbeaten.
Yeah, he done well, Romeo. Like I say, as an amateur, everyone was avoiding him. I remember, God bless his soul, Bobby Beck, mate, from Repton. I remember him saying to, Bobby saying to Richard, he was like, mate, it's like child abuse sending him in there. Like, this kid is, do you know what I mean? He was, he was massive down, wasn't he? He was
Yeah,
like,
and he had muscles. Like if you've got the videos,
there will be.
You've got to
People
show a
would-
clip of
Yeah, definitely.
I imagine his dad was putting him through the mad regime from them
No,
days.
I think he was saying
because
I think he was saying 100%.
You put him through
because-
the mad regime and something.
yeah, you reckon?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
mate,
if
well,
you know,
there was
you need-
suspects, weren't
No,
there?
you need to post a clip of this video.
Yeah, I will do.
'Cause This don't look like no normal kid.
No.
This ain't no 10-year-old.
Well, it's funny because he come at welterweight as a pro, and then he was down at, last time I heard, he was down at super bantam. So he's gone from boxing at 140 to now at super bantam. It's like, it's a bit suspect, but
Then
look,
he went into a model like mad wham, like and
Yeah,
he-
massive,
So
yeah.
I don't know what, but
trying to do the strongest kid and things like that. He
Yeah.
was trying to do. But he was a tough kid. I boxed him twice, so that was my first time I fought him. And like I said, at the Marlow Rooms, I boxed him. And then a couple of years later, as you get a bit bigger, we ended up having a rematch again, and I beat him again. But not many 11, 12-year-old kids were having black eyes and noses splat across their face because that's the way it was. You know, it was one of them ones. So no, it was good.
yeah. So
Good memories.
also, so you went on to box because I remember you had a few like gym show skills back before that. But then as an amateur, also you boxed for England,
Yep.
GB team, and you fought against Ireland's John Nevin.
Yes.
Yeah, and you beat him 8-1. How was that fight?
Yeah, so I was trying to think now. Got to refresh my memory now. It's been a long time, you know. Like in amateur days, like
Jog your memory.
yeah, jog memory. Like I say, boxed out in Ireland. Like you say, I remember going out to Ireland, and it was boxing people, mate. Put it that way. And then I boxed a good kid out there, and got the gold. I remember that. And then like I say, I've done a lot. Amateur days, I did do a lot. I didn't really have many gym shows and club bouts. A lot of it was internationals, like championships, you know, like ABAs, CYPs, Golden Gloves, and then the Three Nations I've done about 4 times, and then Europeans.
Decorated,
Yeah.
CYPs, by the way, for the older folks like myself, it was NABCs.
NABCs, yeah. I don't know if CYPs are about anymore.
No, it's changed.
It's
always-
changed.
Yeah, it's
Boxing's
also
changed
next
now,
stuff
mate.
now. And then you fought Luke McCormack in an international.
3 times, yeah, I boxed Luke.
Yeah, and he's making his pro debut next week, funny enough.
Yes, I'll be at the, I boxed Luke 3 times, because you had the Berkeley boys, so it was Luke, Pat, and Callum French. So, yeah, I boxed Callum twice, Luke 3 times, and I boxed Pat the once. But yeah, like I say, he's got his debut next week. I'm not sure what weight, but I'll be there at the fight.
Yeah, it's at York Hall.
That's it, yeah.
So that's that's like very good experience. Because remember, he was in the last Olympics. And
Olympics.
He got drew in the first heats against Andy Cruz.
Yes.
So, like, that's the last man you want to, like, for your first bout.
For
So
you.
that was just unfortunate,
Yeah,
really.
luck of the draw against
Yeah.
him there.
Yeah. You fought Jack Wood in the England Championship. Who else did you fight?
Some good names in the amateur. Like I say, I would say the ones who have really gone on and done things now. Sound like Corey O'Regan, who's coming through the pros now. Obviously, Callum French doing well. McCormick's. No, like I say, jogging my memory on the spot now.
Yeah.
But there are some good names on that card. Like when I went to the Europeans, I remember at the time I like to find out his name and dig it out and see what he's actually done if he went on and done anything as a pro. Because at the time he had 84 fights with 83 wins and like 2 or 3 times gold medalist. And I lost, and he was a Russian. I lost in Russia double count back. So I thought I'd done enough to win it, but they just tucked me up on a double count back. But
when you're in Russia,
exactly that. So I beat some good kids. I mean, I definitely had my stripes in the amateur game.
So then you turned pro. So who was you with? Was you with Ryan Barrett first?
No, so I turned pro with Richard.
Yeah.
And yeah, we was doing bits with Jason Rowland at the time.
Yeah.
We was over there doing bits with Jason Rowland because he had Mitchell Smith. And then my manager Richard Clark at the time. So I signed with Frank, and then I had 1 or 2 fights, and then obviously I went with MTK. And then, I stayed with Richard all the way till last couple of years when I went to the I-Box for a couple of years. I was down there with Al Smith and Eddie Lamb. And then now we've got Roy Jones Jr., Ian Weaver and Richard.
Oh, Ian Weaver, yeah. I remember
Yeah,
he used to
Weaver,
box
yeah.
in.
So you turning pro, like, we don't ask this question enough. Like, what made you want to turn pro? Or what goes into the decision of turning pro? Or who do you discuss it with your dad, discuss it with your trainer?
I think it was just one of them, like... I think boxing chose me. I ended up being good, I was winning these national titles year in, year out, and it was like, well, we can try and make a living out of this. And I did go off the rails a little bit from when I started driving, going out clubbing from about 17 to like 19. I really went just off the rails, and then I got back into it at 20, and I thought we'd just turn pro. I just thought it was more for myself, I've always wanted to do the boxing. I wanted to make a living of it, and I didn't want to go to work. I've done all that. Going working on building sites with my dad all the way through as a kid, and I thought it's something I want to do full time, so just give it a crack. And then 20, I just said, look, I'm going to turn pro, and that was kind of my own decision. And I moved out at I think I was 19. I think when I moved out, so as I moved away from home at 19, you're your own man, so you've got to fend yourself.
Got you.
Okay. So your dad had a building.
Yeah, my dad had a building firm all the way through, so
Because I knew him, obviously, he had the pet shop in Ladywell.
Yeah, so he still had the shop, but that was like an investment sort of thing on the side. It was his main bread and butter was always the building game.
Oh, okay.
And then he had the shop in
Ladywell.
Ladywell.
That shop was big. I like that
Yeah,
shop.
it was good. Yeah, that's old memory. That's what I mean. I used to work there on the weekends for nothing. You know what I mean? It cost me going to work there. And then
Right next to the
literally it was bad, mate. I had no money at all, mate. And then just getting a bus in 89 from Welling all the way to Lewisham to work for nothing to cover my bus fare. So good old days.
Yeah, man, that was good. So then you had your debut in 2015. You stopped Laszlo Fekete in the first round. You dropped him 4 times. Then you had some other wins, and in your 14th fight, I would say this was like your acid test. You fought Leon Woodstock.
Yeah.
He was 11-0. There was like a heated build up to it. What was that about? Like,
I think because at the time, Leon Woodstock, he was the champion.
Was he the European champion at the time?
He was the WBO European champion.
Yeah.
So he was WBO European champion, and he just come off a good win against a fella called Craig Poxton. It was a tough kid, and like I say, he was unbeaten. He had that character where he was flashy, he was loud, and he thought he was the man. And I was coming through. I remember it very vivid what he was saying about it'd be like me getting in the ring with Vasyl Lomachenko. That's how confident this kid was. Right?
I remember in the first round you dropped him.
Dropped him in the first round, and then that was it. Really, it kind of went into cruise control through the night, and then that was kind
the
of
body into an up jab.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that was a nice little shot. That was a nice move.
Jumping jab. So that was kind of my first little test. Really, it he was the favourite to win. I think I was a 4-1 underdog, so we all had a good win that night.
Yeah, but he was probably giving it at the press conference, and then even at the weigh-in, he like tried to grab your face.
Yeah, tried to grab it. See, Dan, that was the first time I've actually. It was a bit of acting, you know. Like normally, anything like that, you're throwing shots. So that was my first sort of thing. Like, I can't really do this. I ain't going to be boxing the weekend, so it was I had to kind of learn and play the role with it, because it was a bit out of character for me, because it's not that. You know what I mean? I'm not that sort of way.
Your dad would have told you straight.
Yeah, just throw shots. You know what I mean? Just throw shots.
Man, like Danny, you know, Danny Sharp, big up Danny. Yeah, he was certified still. Big him up. And then yeah, so you dropped it, and then that turned out to be like a fight of the year contender as well.
Yeah, it was. Like I said, it was a good build up. We done a great ticket, because I was in Leicester in his hometown as well.
Yeah.
So
you brought a lot of people up with you.
Yeah, it was like 200, 250 of us went up there as well. And it was the first really competitive professional fight. Now you got a title on the line, you got 10 rounds to do, and you're fighting someone who's a champion. Like it's not vacant. You've got to go to the kid's home,
take it from him
to the Lion's Den, if you like, you know.
Yeah, you had your friend, the guy on Love Island.
Fincham, at the time Fincham won it. Yeah, he come out, didn't he? Yeah, so there's a few.
There's a few buds in the crowd. So then the crowd was, and then you defended it 3 times, and during that 3 times, it's like you dropped every opponent, you stopped one of them, and then you beat Jeff Afori. That was like a funny performance.
I was lucky. I'll be honest with you, Dan. That was a very. That was kind of, you know, when people say they learn off losses. That was me, like learning with just about getting through with a win, you know, because I sparred Jeff before, and I knew what I was coming against, and I was so confident. Thinking,
I thought you'd do.
Do a number.
A number in him, because I see it. Ahara done a number in him as well.
Yeah,
stopped him. Innit?
Yeah, so I thought. Ahara stopped him. Yeah, so I thought that would be the same fate. But you didn't look yourself.
I think I just done it all wrong, you know. Like the training didn't go too well. That's where I was saying with the experience, with learning. Because me and Richard was only ever learning on the job. Every fight that we had to learn on the job. And like I said, I'd done rounds with Afori before, and he showed. Look at his last performance with Callum French. He beat Callum French. He's got a great work rate. So I went crazy for my training. I was out in Tenerife sparring with the Walsh brothers, but I'd done it 4 or 5 weeks too early.
Yeah.
So then when I come into the ring, I remember sitting back, and obviously it was the first fight behind closed doors. So that was a bit weird. You can hear a pin drop in there. I sat down after 4 rounds. I said to Richard, I'm fucked, mate. I can't move my legs, mate. Like, I'm in it. Don't know how. He's like, you've got 6 rounds to go, mate. You need to do something. I was like, I'm struggling here. And it weren't because of fitness. It was just, I think I left it all in the gym.
Yeah, you felt flat.
Yeah, very flat. So that was that fight was a bit of a
wake up call.
Yeah, very big wake up call. That's when I went to the iBox.
Okay. Yeah.
That's when I made a decision to go and learn off them guys. See what people do different.
Yeah. Was Bradley down there at the time still?
Nah, Bradley wasn't there. Bradley's doing his own thing by then. I sound did he? No, then he come back. He boxed Hamza Shiraz, didn't he? So
yeah.
So in that period of time, he wasn't fighting. I think he was doing a bit at Sheffield at the Ingalls, but no, he wasn't at the iBox when I was there.
Okay. And then you suffered your first cut for the WBO global title versus Diego Andrade Chavez. So how was that like? How was that experience like getting cut? How did you manage to keep your temperament and not panic?
Well, to be fair, when I boxed Woodstock, I did get a little nick. But it wasn't nowhere near what I mean. You get a little nick and it just runs away from you, you know. But this one here against Diego Andrade, that was I had stitches through here. It was really bad from just clash of heads, and it was an awkward style with them typical Mexicans. They like to fight with their heads, and we kept clashing. And that was fortunately the team in the corner, Eddie Lamb, done a good job to stop the cuts and get me through the fight. But yeah, that was painful after. I remember that for 3-4 days, you know, it was sore. Yeah.
And then you defended it, and then from about 2021, 2022, it just went like very inactive, like one fight a year. What was behind that? Because I know obviously when you talk about 2020, 21, obviously we know the pandemic, but then after that, it's still been a bit inactive. Apart from last year, you started to have you had 2 fights last year.
Yeah.
Obviously, your last fight was 3 months ago.
Yeah. So I boxed in December. So I left Frank. went with a company called Probellum.
Oh yeah.
Is there a reason why you left Frank, or just parted ways, or?
We left. To be fair to Frank, we parted ways on good terms. There wasn't no. At the time, I felt like there was a new change. This company from Dubai come in, Probellum, offered me a great deal. Obviously, things were just different. I've got family to think of, and that was kind of what was on the line. It weren't no
Titles or
personal thing. It was just literally business. And then within a couple of months of me leaving Frank, MTK got closed down.
Yeah.
And then obviously I was with MTK, so that caused a bit of a thing. And then this thing with Probellum, I think they got caught up with like painting with the same brush, and it was just all very political. So the politics was all over the place, and then that's what kind of left me to my inactivity. Probellum put a couple of shows on, but not as much as what should have. I did get injured actually. There was one. Their first show was in Dubai at the Coca-Cola Arena. Sonny Edwards headline. John O'Carroll and everyone was on there. I was supposed to be on there, and then I suffered an injury a couple of days before flying out. So and then after that, it all went downhill from there. It's very quiet, and they stripped me from the belts due to inactivity, which was obviously out of my control. But yeah, we are where we are today, and we move forward. Hopefully, God willing, in the next within the next week, I'll be able to announce what our next stages are, our next steps. But we will be back on a big platform. And you will be seeing me back on the TV.
Okay, good. That's good to hear. So, new promotional deal in the works. So, that's good to hear, man.
Definitely, man.
So, as you said, you've been training Richard Sawyer as your main trainer. How did the link up with Roy Jones come about? Because that was a very random unique thing when I see Roy Jones in your camp.
So Roy's good friends with. So I got a pal Tony. His son Little Lightning Jr. I don't know if you've seen him coming about on Little. He's only young. He was 16 when he turned pro.
Okay.
There's a lot of talks about Little Lightning. So his dad is good friends.
In Arabia.
Yeah, he's always out in Dubai fighting.
Yeah. That's the one where Prince Nassim was.
Nassim's got him. That's it. So Tony's a good friend of mine, and he's with obviously had his son with Roy. And when I left the I box, I went back to Richard, and I sat down with Richard and said, "Look, we know what we can do well together, but we need to expand what we do. You know what I mean?
We need flavour.
We need to add something." And we had an opportunity with Roy, and then Ian Weaver left the I box and come with myself. So that's kind of how that team come about, really, because of Tony putting me in with Roy, and me and Roy got on very well. And Roy was over here training me for a while, and he sees a lot of potential, and he believes that we can go on and do big things.
So have you been over to Florida?
Not yet. Only because of my last couple of fights have been over in the UK. So and where it has been a bit up and down. The last two fights I've had literally 4 weeks notice. So it's not like I've had a proper training camp. They've said, you can be out in 3-4 weeks. Yeah. It's been one of them ones. So.
Okay. Well, get ready, because I heard you like getting people running around chasing chickens
and animals.
That stuff. So that'll be interesting. So when last did you speak to Roy then?
I speak to Roy daily. He always sends me stuff over. We're always on the phone together. It was always sending bits what he wants me working on, and then obviously I'll send over what we've been doing, and then we're always on the phone. So at the minute it's on the blower, but once we get our next date and I can make an announcement of what we're doing, we can go from there and do a proper camp.
Yeah. How does that feel, like getting trained by like a former pound for pound great? And you know, I would imagine he just wouldn't take anyone on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so like you say, he's a big boxer. He loves the boxing himself, and what he's taught me is how to watch fights completely different now. I used to watch fights, so I analyse fights now completely different as well as before. So I won't just watch it as a fan. I'm always looking at these little things now that he's put into my head. So he's very knowledgeable of the sport. And if I can just take 5% of what that man done and add it to my game, you know, then I'm well in front. So like I say, he's very confident. He rang me straight after the Navarrete fight and said, "Right, let's make this fight happen now. Like we want this fight right now." Yeah. So he's definitely confident in what we can do.
Yeah. So and so with Richard Sawyer, he's been with you, you know, since from the beginning. He was always in the gym. So what is it about Richard which you say is like very pivotal with your training and your development as a fighter? Why you stuck with him so long?
Because you don't want to let him go.
Yeah, I just feel like, do you know what it is with Rich? We kind of,
Become family, or
Yeah, we've come very close like that, and I feel like he knows me so well that we can get the best of. He knows what I need to do to get the best Archie shot, and having Ian and Roy, because even Richard likes to learn. Because you know, Ian was out in America. He trained with Floyd Mayweather. He's been in all the camps with Canelo Alvarez. He's been trained by all of them out there. Freddie Roach. So he's got loads of knowledge himself. And then Roy. So Richard's learning. I'm learning, and I just feel like me and Richard have got that click where he knows the best what I need to do, and I believe he's a great trainer as well. Like he'll get you fit, he'll get you in great shape. It's just a matter of tweaking them 1 or 2%, adding on, and that's why we need to expand the team. I'm not one for dropping people, you know. Like people go on in new trainer. Where me, I'll say right, this is working, this isn't, so we need to bring someone in to kind of cover that area and do it that way, you know.
Yeah, because that's because. As going back to Eltham District, I was there for a little bit, but you was there, you know, for the majority of your amateur career. Yeah. And obviously, you was trained by your dad first. Yeah. What's it? Richard Sawyer, Steve Barrett. Yeah. What was the guy with the
dreads? Archie Dublin?
No, not Archie Dublin. The one with the white hair.
John Cole.
That's it. John
Cole was there. Yeah.
Yeah. John Cole. And then Ryan, when he left to go pro in it, but then he sort of started helping out down the shop. So then, what was it about Richard which made you get drawn more to him? Then because there was like 4 or 5 coaches in that gym, really.
Yeah, there was. So when I first come down,
Steve Barrett was like the main coach.
He was the main coach. So when I first come to Eltham, I was only 7. Yeah. And at the time, you had obviously yourselves, you had Lenny, Nelson, Ripley, there was loads of fighters there.
Junior Saeed, Craig Jeffcoat, Billy Henty, Sonny Henty,
Lee Driscoll, did I say that one? Yeah, there was so many. Charlie Fox, there was so many. There was so many. Saw brothers. Yeah. Nathan, yeah. So there were so many people already in that gym, and I was only 7, and you have to be really a bit older, 9, 10 maybe, was what the ages kind of was.
10.
So Richard was just coming into training himself. So he was very new, he was young. I think he was in his like early 20s or something. And then I think Steve was like, look, Rich, kind of use Archie as a little project.
Yeah,
and that's how it kind of was, you know. It was like, Steve was so busy with it, who he had, with all the fighters going in national champions and things, and it was that's kind of what it was really. Like Richard was giving to me like a little project, and then after that, I was given to Richard, should I say, as a project, and then we just kicked on and done good things.
Yeah.
So you spent like a lot of time together with him. That's okay.
Yeah. He's took me. That's the thing with Richard. What people don't realise is in this sport, especially in the amateurs, no money in it. So Richard literally give his life up for myself and then a few others like Albert Lee and that who come through, Joe Smith. He give his life up for us to run us up and down the country, which costs money. He put his life on hold. He didn't go to work for us. So he literally dedicated his everything to us boys, and we went on and we done good things. And now it's like I feel like he's part of that journey, and we reap the rewards now. It's time for us to reap the rewards. It's been a very long journey, 20 odd years in the game. So yeah, that's what Richard's still about.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear, man. Because even when I saw that video clip of you like doing pads, it like brought back all the memories of like under, over, under, over, under. I was like, no, that's big. I like that. So yeah, man. So then, what you said that you went to the Lynn for a couple of years, which I didn't even know. So what made you move?
So
there for a couple of
goes
years?
Back to Richard really putting his whole life on hold. He got to a stage where I was turning 17, so I was just about to start driving now, and he just said, Arch, look, like, I feel like I've gone as far as I can with you. I want to kind of do his own thing, you know. He wants to have children. He wants to do his own thing. Do you know what I mean? Because he literally, when I mean put his life on hold, like the amateurs, all that he done, and that's what he done. He went and done what he had to do, and I went down to the Lynn. I was with Sam Mullins there, and I was there for a couple of years. Done a couple of fights with Sam as an amateurs.
That's Chef's coach, right?
Yeah, Chef Clark's coach. So I was with Sam for a while.
And Prince Patel.
Yeah, he's got Prince as well. So I was down in Lynn for a couple of years and then I turned pro.
Okay. Yeah, man. So when you said, because you said you boxed in Russia. What other countries did you box in, and can you give us some interesting or funny stories about some of the trips you had along the way? Because I know you was quite a charismatic young lad.
Tell you what, me and Luke McCormick, even though we boxed each other, obviously we then went on to Europeans at different weights. And let me tell you something. You see when they say about the twins that they are the case. We had good times, mate. We had good times in Russia. Surprised we come back, to be honest with you.
So, too many Russian standards. Yeah,
yeah, man. I'm surprised we come back. We was young. Fucking hell, I think we had. Do you know what? I think there was a time where Russian old Bill got called to the hotel. That's what I mean. There was some things.
Kalashnikovs, yeah.
You think you're little kids and you get a bit of reality check now. Shit, we ain't going home.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're serious business, the Russian police.
Mate, it was trying to think where we was. I can't remember whereabouts we was in Russia, but it wasn't. It weren't no high-rise buildings and things like that. Mate.
Moscow or St. Petersburg.
Mate. Rough, mate. Yeah. We was in the slums.
Okay, I hear that. So then also, I remember there was talks of you looking to fight Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah.
So what happened with that in the end then?
There was some back and forth on Twitter.
Yeah, we was having
there?
back and forth because obviously Shakur, look, we all know Shakur's a great fighter, you know, he's a great kid, and I believe I'm going to be world champion, I think, and I believe I'm the best in the division, so it's only right that the best fight the best in my eyes. So I was number one for 2 years, and he's like, trying to say I'm not worthy of a shot, but I got myself to a number one position. He was saying that no one wanted to fight him, and I'm like, I'm here. Like, he was like, how easy it will be. I said, well, if it's that easy, at least it looks good on your CV that you've beaten number one WBO number one. If it's that easy, but it was just never happened, and it was back and forth. I was so keen for the fight. I was ringing my manager every day, like, what can we do? How can we get this fight? And it just never happened, and then I think he ended up getting Jamel Herring, or was that before? Yeah. So it was all. There's been so many champions since I've been at number one. There's been so many champions that jumped the queue. You know, Valdez and Navarrete and even Navarrete against that Wilson, the Australian kid. So I was supposed to be fighting Wilson January 2021 in Vegas.
Okay.
So I was getting ready for that, and then Navarrete was fighting Valdez. And then Valdez got injured.
Okay.
So they needed someone to step in for the world title. So you would think they go to number one and let me fight Navarrete. So I'm jumping up thinking, this is my shot. But they didn't. They went to Liam Wilson and give Liam Wilson the shot, who was at number 3.
Yeah.
And I'm like, paying my head against the wall, thinking, what
do you have to do?
What have I got to do? Like, I'm sitting here, like, I'm here, I'm ready. Like, I want the big fights. I'm number one, and I'm not avoiding anyone.
Yeah. Well, talking about big fights, you must have seen recently, did an interview with Tevin Farmer, the American Idol, and he was calling you out. Just out of nowhere. I was surprised, but it managed to reach your ears. So, have there been any development since?
Yeah, so his manager, Napa, you know, so they did contact me the other day. I spoke to my manager as well. Tevin was on the call, and I just said, look, like, they said they can make it happen. I'm here, I'm ready, you know, like, if it don't happen, it's only going to be because on your behalf. Like, it's the only reason why this fight won't happen now, because I've agreed to it. I'm agreed to have the fight with Tevin. They're saying that they can get the platform and they can do what they need to do. So we just said, no problem. Yeah. So hopefully they come through and deliver what they say they can do, and that fight will be on.
I'm guessing that's a fight you believe you win comfortably, or...
Yeah, I remember we had a little back and forth a couple of years ago, and I think I gave him a bit of stick sound about him being old and left on the shelf. So, I've definitely got back on what I'm saying, you know. But like, these are the fights that I've looked at and studied. Like, I do study the boxing. I study my weight category, in and around the weight, whether it's feather, super feather, or lightweight. And there's things that I've seen that I believe I can beat, that I do differently to Tevin. Tevin's a great champion. There's no arguments about that. I'm not saying he's a weak champion. I think he's a great fighter, but I just believe in what I can do, and I believe until I actually fight someone at that sort of level, no one's going to be able to see what I can do. Like, at the minute, it's just like, people can only judge me what I've done as a pro so far, and I still believe that I haven't actually been able to do what I know I can do. I feel like I've just got through. I've just done enough to win, get through. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then that's the truth of it. I just feel like I haven't had to get out of second gear.
Yeah. Well, you're ranked number 5 in the WBO. I see currently.
Is it 5 now? Yeah, I don't know. I've given up looking because I've gone from
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I keep up to date.
Every month now they're dropping me. But yeah, they're at number 5 now, so we'll see.
So have you thought about maybe fighting the current British and Commonwealth champion, Reece Bellotti? You know, he just recently won that.
Yeah, Bellotti's definitely a fight that I'm interested in. I spoke to my manager about that and said, look, there's definitely fights there. Like, because I've had a couple of years of like the inactivity. If it means I've got to go and pick a British up in the meantime, I'm not just saying it. I think I'll go and win that with ease. And yeah, like I say, Kakachi's fighting Cordina. I know there was a lot of back and forth with me and Kakachi for a little while, but at the time, obviously, you got to think I was promised so many big fights. I've been promised the world in the last 2-3 years. I'm getting this fight, I'm getting that fight. So the Kakachi fight never kind of was that interesting me.
Okay.
But who knows? See where we go with promotional wise. But there's fights like that there.
Yeah. Who's the current European champion? Do you know?
The EBU, I think it was Gomez, but
Michael Gomez Jr.
No. It's a fella from Spain, I think, who's got the EBU, which is same again. Like we're open to all of these fighters. I believe there was talks about me and him. So for last year, for about 2-3 months, I was training, thinking I'm fighting for the EBU. People were saying to me, "What's happening next?" I'm saying I'm out for the EBU, but it just never happened.
Yeah. So obviously the main guy in Britain is Joe Cordina. You've got O'Shaki Foster. What do you think of guys like that when you watch them now? Especially as you said, Roy Jones has got you analysing fighters and fights more differently than you used to before.
So Foster's a funny one because I spoke to my team 2 years ago when he beat, I think it was the Russian kid in Saudi, in Dubai. He beat someone out there.
Yeah.
He was
I believe so.
highly ranked Russian kid, unbeaten. And I was actually sitting there watching the fight, and I texted my manager at the time. I said, please can we line this fight up with Foster? Because I did hear good things about Foster. A friend of mine out in the States rang me and said, Arch, watch this kid. Because they brought Foster over thinking he was going to get beat against this unbeaten Russian. And they said that they backed Foster to win. And I'm sitting there watching it, and I thought, God, this would be a good fight for me. So I texted my manager and said, can we make it happen? And fair play to Foster now. He's just kicked on. He's had his shot. He got a shot at the world title, and he just keeps winning. They tried to tuck him up in Mexico a couple of fights ago, and he come through with a win, and he's doing good things. So fair play to him. But yeah, their fights I'm definitely interested in. Same with Cordina.
Yeah, that's good to hear, man. So when do you think you'll be out next, roughly?
I'm hoping April.
Okay.
I'm hoping as soon as April, really. So we're halfway through March now. So I reckon 6-7 weeks I'll be back.
Okay.
So, you have any fighters that you love to watch? Anyone that you go on YouTube, past or present, you watch all regularly?
Yeah, so there's always fighters I'm studying. Always, I study all the greats, current fighters, because for me it's about picking what works best out for myself. So I look at things of what Mayweather does well. I look at things of what Sugar Ray Leonard do, Roy Jones. Do you know what I mean? And if you can just pick a little bit of each one and keep training, keep practicing, and just kind of shake it all up in the box, and then there you go. You got Archie Sharp 2.0.
Yeah. Well, I know we've talked a lot about your boxing, but I can't say I've noticed for years you're quite a bit of a businessman. I see you got the jewelry shop. Is that the watch? Is that?
Yeah, so that's not mine. That's a good friend of mine, Danny and George. They've got the Secret Garden over in Hatton Gardens.
I thought you like a partner.
No. They've just helped. They've just been with me for a long time now. Since
sponsors or?
Yeah, sponsors, friends, and also they advise me on a few things as well. So yeah, I do like, even though obviously boxing my main thing, there's always things I'm looking at to do, business side of things. I've just opened up a flooring company. I've took on a flooring company, should I say now? So in the previous week. So yeah, there's always things that I'm looking to do. I enjoy business. Just enjoy.
So you get that from your dad, or?
Yeah, I think driven. Yeah, very driven. And in the last couple, I broke my arm about 3 years ago, and I was in a bit of a dark place. and obviously things weren't really going the way that you had COVID as well. So it was through COVID, and it was all getting on top, as it does. You know what I mean? Kids, you got an house to think about. I had all these things going through my head, and I come across the book from Tony Robbins, and then The Secret and things like that. So that kind of turned my life. Probably in the last 3 or 4 years, I'd say I've been more driven to self-development. I've always been doing things with mental health, but I think more so now, like with the self-development books and the Bob Proctors and all these big people, inspirational people, like, I feel like I've took a really big turn. So I'd say my dad for the start with the business side, but I've really took it on and kicked on more so in the last 4 years due to these books and podcasts and things like that.
What book was that? Can you mention that again?
So I come across The Secret, the film,
Yeah,
and then I read.
Film, okay.
So then I read it, and then that's when I got into Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield, started reading their books, and then Think and Grow Rich, and Tony Robbins' books as well. So yeah, just.
So then also, and you said you got 4 kids, which is a lot of children. I've got 4 children as well. So how was that becoming a father? So how old were you when you had your first?
So my oldest she's 11 in a couple of days. So I was young.
Oh, you're the same age as me then, 19 then.
So I was young, yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously, it's crazy, isn't it?
18, 19, yeah, that's mad, yeah. So how was that? How did that change you as a person?
I think when you have kids, it's just a lot of responsibility. So my oldest she's my stepdaughter, but I took her on from the age of. It's a funny old story. Me and my wife, we go back from kids, so we done nursery together, primary school, secondary school, everything, and it went
Sandpit.
Yeah, we were literally childhood sweethearts, as they say. Yeah, like, you know what I mean. But no, when I left school, like I said previously, but I got to about 17, 18, I was doing a bit of bad road, you know. I just went wild. So we kind of separated, went our own ways. And then I think we was, about 19, just turning 20 when we got back together. And then by then, obviously, she had her first little girl. So I took Emmy on from the age of 1. And then, and the other 3 followed.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a story behind it all.
Yeah,
but
I like that. I could commend that, man, you know.
Yeah, because like I say, when I left school, we both left secondary school, and then we done our own thing, and then I was off being me.
Amadeus.
Yeah, just
being Archie,
just being havoc, and then not giving a shit about anyone but myself. Just selfish, you know. Just once I got in a car at 17, that was it, mate. I was just gone. Basically lived out my car, just driving here.
In London,
yeah, mate, I was gone. And then, like I say, got 20, and we got back together, and then so that was when I had a lot of growing up to do, because you become a dad overnight.
Yeah.
Because especially when you got someone that you get a missus, and then the kids come after, you know. That's our traditional kind of way. But this, it was a lot different. You got a kid overnight, and you think, God, it's not about yourself, it's not about the missus, there's a kid involved now. Like, you got this little human being. So you got to grow up, and you got to mature. And it took a couple of years. I'm glad we stuck it out, because now the other 3 have followed, and married now, and like I say, I don't know where I'd be if I wasn't with my wife.
Yeah.
Because they say a good man is a good woman, and she has been good for me, and especially stuck at, like, seeing the shit I've had to go through with the boxing side of things, and just the everyday struggles, you know.
She's held you down.
Yeah, for sure.
No,
and
that's beautiful to see, man.
So no, it's good. It's been a good journey, and now we just reap the rewards now, and just crack on and do it together. It's like a nice little story where I can write a book later on in life that it wasn't all glamorous and bed of roses. You know, we had through some hard times. And we had to pull through and stick together, and I think that's when you find out if them people, do you know what I mean? If you get with someone, if you get with someone when it's all easy. And
that's what I say. You really know who's there for you, or who really loves you when the times are dark.
Definitely, and I've noticed that with people. So let alone with your wife, you know, because if you go and have children with someone and they're not with you, they're with you when it's good, and all of a sudden it gets rough, and then they're gone.
But it's crazy though, because a lot of people say that you don't find out a real person's person or whatever persona until bad times kind of thing.
Yeah.
But in case there's no bad times.
No, 100%.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And I tell you what it is with my wife as well. Yeah, when we got back together, because I'm a big believer. I spoke to a few of my pals about it, because some of them, especially when you're only 19, taking on another man's child, you think, what, like,
They must have said you off your nut, innit?
yeah, people going to be, what are you doing? Like, and I don't blame them. But you know what it is? It's like, I looked at, you don't know a good mother until they've had the children. And I looked at Grace, I knew she was an unbelievable mother, and I thought that's what you want. Like, she's already doing it. Like, she's an unbelievable mum.
That's another way of looking at things. It's like,
so I saved myself 10 years.
It's like a cheat code. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think the thing, you know what I mean?
You've seen the preview before the.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
100%. You go and get with someone, have a kid with them, and then you find out they're not. Like, I
got
knew
you in and out the courts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't see a year unless to get some readies.
100%. Yeah, I want money week in and week out. So no, and I knew Grace's family as well. Like I said, I know the mum and dad. I've known the family for a long time. She's known my family for a long time. And I think that's what
it's meant to be, innit?
Yeah, it's meant to be. And I think
what stock each other are coming from. Do you know what I mean?
Both got good morals, good principles. Families both got good morals, principles. And like I said, I see what she was like with children. I'm a very family person. I come from a good family, and family orientated people, and so was she. And I can see that with her little girl she was only young. You know, people probably screaming at her saying, "What you doing having a child that young?" And probably, like you say, you've been there yourself. Yeah. And then she took on a responsibility, mate, and flourished with it, like unbelievable. And now we've got 4 lovely children, and hey, I won't change it, mate. So no, it's a good story.
Yeah, no, I see the you like posting that wedding photo. It's a nice
yeah,
photo.
Yeah.
It's a nice photo. So then with boxing, what would you say like is the hardest part about being a fighter?
Do you know what? It's funny because I would love to just have a fly on the wall all day looking what I do. Like, do you know what I mean? People think you're in the gym, like you are. There's a lot of fighters out there, right? That they're young, they've got no one else, they've got no responsibility. So they're not getting up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when your kids are ill. They're not washing bottles. They're not. Do you know what I mean? Doing all that. I do all that. Like I'm at home a lot.
Oh, you're hands-on dad, basically.
I'm a hands-on dad. Do you know what I mean? I'm at home a lot because I go to the gym and I'm at home. I don't run out clubs. I'm not. Do you know what I mean? I'm either in the gym or I'm at home with the family.
Taking the kids after school activities and picking them.
I do the school run every morning. You know? Wow. So I do the school run every morning. I'm blessed to do that.
Sometimes you're like, oh, you do it this morning, or I'll do it, or do you just get up every...
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I do get that. But the minute my little baby, she ain't been sleeping great, so I've been tissuing ears, you know what I mean? One of them ones, and let her wake up.
So how old are all of them? 11?
So I've got 11, 6, bloody hell, this is bad,
4 and 1.
I've got 3, Pearl's going to be 3 in June, and then I've got my little one who's going to be a year old in April.
Oh,
so I've got
good.
1.
Don't make the men look like bad dads that's there. They've got the ages.
Yeah, we forget the ages, man.
Do you know they got the ages?
Yeah, just 1.
Oh yeah. How old is he?
8.
Okay.
Who are you, Dad?
18. Will be 19 this month. 18, 6.
Wait, you got 3 18-year-olds?
Right now, the second, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But the first one is you step into the third.
My stepdaughter, she's going to be 19 next week.
Okay.
Dennis, done the same as me. Yeah.
Dennis Harlem, he's 18, but he'll be 19 in July 28th. Then my stepson, he just turned 18 last month, February. And then obviously the 6-year-old, he turned 6 in February.
Oh, yeah, lovely.
So,
Lovely. That's busy, mate.
Yeah,
busy, mate. 318, mate. Wow.
I know.
Wow. Yeah, you're lucky now, man. You're joined there old now, man. Except for Kareem.
Nah, the last one, I thought I was over the line and he popped in. Now I'm at square one again.
He's doing it all again, 100%.
Right,
I think that's back to your question about being at the hard bit of boxing. I think that's what it is. You know, you got to train, you got to keep on your weight, but then you also got a family to. I think that's what the hardest thing is. I see a lot of these young fighters, and I think. And they moan, and I'm like, mate, you've only got yourself to worry about. Like, it's easy. Do you know what I mean? It's easy.
True,
like, But I won't change it though. Even though it's been a struggle, I won't change it. I'm blessed, to be able to go and do the school runs and train and fight. But it's definitely been a roller coaster, and I look forward to writing a book on it. So there's some things
and I think, and I know you're just not talking about writing a book, because I could tell from your COVID and you said you was reading these books, so that's probably going to be an inspiration to people and seeing how you dealt with things and that. Also, I'll be looking forward to buying that, man.
Yeah, no, I look forward to doing it, because there's so many stories. Like, even with Richard, because I've been with Richard for so long, he reminds me of things. He's like, "Do you remember that?" I'm like, "Oh shit, I forgot about that one." He said, "Well, we have to put that in the book." And we've always said from day one, we'd love to write a book, because people think it's so easy, and like they see all this Twitter stuff going on about fight this person, fight that person. We're trying to, mate. You know what I mean? Like, we're trying to. Same with the Tevin Farmer thing. Like, if that doesn't happen, that's only going to be on their behalf.
Yeah.
Because we've said, yeah, they approached us about it. We said, yeah, no problem. They said, we can deliver X, Y, and Z. Yeah, lovely. Let's do it.
And he called you out, so he has to put up now.
Yeah,
it's
so
not like you've run after him.
No, exactly that. It's Napa reached out and was like, "Would you be interested in a fight?" I said, "Mate, I'd be interested with anyone.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a problem." And then that was it. Then Tevin jumped on and called me out, and then because obviously there was a bit of back and forth with me and that Albert Bell, who was highly ranked as well.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Mate, I'll fight anyone. Just get me in a ring, mate, and we'll fight." Like,
yeah,
that's what it's about, and that's what I'd want to do. I've earned my stripes. I should be in the big fights now. And then I'll go on and do what I need to do. I've got a few more good years to give to the sport. I'm only 28,
Yeah, it's still young.
Yeah. Are you gonna go to the penultimate round?
Yeah,
go for it, man.
So we're gonna hit the penultimate round. I don't know if you've watched the show before.
Yeah.
So you know how it goes. Series of questions. So
be careful, Matt. Stitch you up.
Hold on.
My one answer. I ain't one word answered, am I?
No. You give you options. You just pick one. Yeah.
You pick an answer.
Two options, right?
Yeah. So I've got my old phone, because I can't be bothered to, because this is my new phone. Remember the last two? I didn't have it, so I had to get my old phone myself. Look at it messed up my screen. Look, shout out to my kids, Aaliyah, Aaron, Shaquille, and Kazim, by the way. But yeah, let's ring that bell. Red corner or blue corner? Blue. Left hook or straight right?
Left hook.
Everlast or fly?
Everlast.
Cleto, Rays or Grants?
Grants.
Rival or winning?
Rival.
Pathon Sports or RDX?
Pathon Sport.
Leon or Venom?
Venom.
For boots, Nike boots or Adidas boots?
Nike.
Everlast or Lonsdale boots?
Everlast.
York Hall or Wembley Arena?
SSC one,
yeah. Yeah, SSC. York Hall. O2 Arena or Copper Box?
Copper Box.
Tupac or Biggie?
Biggie.
Nas or Jay-Z?
Nas.
Ali or Tyson?
Ali.
Jack Johnson or Joe Lewis?
Joe Lewis.
Ray Robinson or Ray Leonard?
Ray Leonard.
Michael Buffer or Jimmy Lennon Jr.?
Buffer.
Mills Lane or Steve Willis?
Willis.
Arthur Peterbiev or Dimitri Bivol?
That's an hour. I'm going to go with Burton.
Yeah. Tim Tissue. Yeah, I'm going to better be it.
Better be it. Yeah.
Bro, he gets offended.
Does he?
Yeah. Tim Tissue or Keith Urban?
I'm going to do
Canelo or Jaime Munguia?
No.
Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia?
So I'll go Garcia.
Really? After mad antics?
I don't like what's his name?
Devin.
I don't like his movement these days, don't
Okay. Shakur Stevenson or Javonte Davis?
Davis.
Chris Smith or Richard Riakpo? 2.
Richard.
Jai Patai or Bradis? 2.
Left time.
Yeah, serious.
Serious operator, left hand. So.
Fury or Usyk?
So I'm going to go with Fury.
AJ or Wilder?
AJ.
Is that fight still in the work?
Can I put him against
Yeah, he's not saying Fury, so I don't know.
We saw Zach Parker last night. He got the win. I think it'd be a good fight for someone like him. And
yeah, Zach Parker, he did box, didn't
yeah. So how do you
turn it off?
Craig Richards or Zach Parker?
He called me last night. Sorry, Parker, brother.
Oh my god! So who have you got, Craig Richards or Zach Parker?
Oh, Craig Richards.
Joshua Buatsi or Anthony Yard?
Oh, this is an hard one, but I'm going to go with Yard.
You going to go Yard, yeah?
I used to say Buatsi, but I think Yard's topped it, mate.
Alicia Baumgartner or Delphine Pursuit?
I'm going to go first one, Gaza.
Savannah, Zelfa Barrett or Jordan Gill?
Barrett.
Is Barrett in your weight division?
Yeah, my weight, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't mention, you didn't even mention today.
Yeah, because I saved it for the final round.
Barrett.
Hublot or Chapard?
Hublot.
You get the Bright in there.
Brilliant.
Brett was decent.
20 years ago. Well, I'm going to put that against Cartier, but Cartier wouldn't it?
You can't go wrong with
A Breitling and Cartier.
Investment things are going right.
Yes, yours.
True, for investment. Yeah.
Money started.
Yeah. Blonde or brunette?
Shit, what's my wife? Brunette.
Slim and trim or curvy fit?
Curve.
Alright, for eyes, blue eyes, green eyes or brown eyes?
I told you. Just to
I'm
try.
sure she's brown, boy. Brown.
She must have looked into your eyes many a time.
Yes, she's brown.
Oh.
Natural or surgery?
Natural.
Love that. Garage or house for music?
House. No, garage.
Drum and bass or jungle?
Jungle.
R&B or hip hop?
These are good ones, man. R&B.
Dance or Afro beats?
We'll go dance. I don't know, actually. So I'm on 50-50. I want to go Afro beats.
Oh, fair enough. Fish and chips or pie and mash?
Pie mash.
Cod or haddock?
Cod.
Rock or place?
Rock.
Scampi or calamari?
Calamari.
Jelly deals or cockles?
Jelly deals.
Ribeye or fillet for steak?
Ribeye.
Shepherd's pie or cottage pie?
Shepherd's.
Cornish pasty or beef patty?
Beef.
Chinese or Indian?
Indian.
Italian or Turkish?
Turkish.
Jerk chicken, rice and peas or curry goat and rice and peas?
Go.
Come on, you know it's set. Belvedere or Grey Goose?
Oh, evil. No.
Yeah, say none.
Wait, evil.
Fanta or Sprite?
Fanta.
Fiji or Voss?
Fiji one.
Labour or Conservative?
It's been politics, man.
Yeah, politics. Neither or.
And then last one, city life or town life?
Ken life.
That's town, isn't it? Town, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going town. Yeah.
Rural. Countryside. Yeah.
Anywhere but city.
Yeah. Town, rural.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Love to great to have you on, man.
It's been good, man. I appreciate you.
Hope you enjoyed.
So I hope that we see you again when you come down with the title, man.
Yeah, definitely 100%.
No, I'm sure to catch up and stay in touch and stuff like that. So let everyone know. Look into that camera. Let everyone know where your social medias are, and shout out your sponsors as well.
Yeah, so my sponsors obviously got loads. We've got Gary Sets, Full Logistics, my nutritionist Paul, Secret Garden. I'm gonna get in trouble here. And that prize guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing well, that prize guy. And then Nigel Begg as well, friend mentor of mine and sponsor as well. So, and also a big shout out to the Young Life Foundation, Children's Foundation, that I do a lot for as well. And there's a big things in Kent for the young children.
Okay. That did you give your social then?
Socials, yeah, it's Archie Sharp. So it's Archie Sharp on social.
Okay. And there you have it, guys. That's another episode of the Neutral Corner. It's Danny Glover.
It's Big Lex.
And today we've been joined by the one, the only, Archie, Sharpshooter Sharp. And remember, guys, persistence beats resistance. You know where it is.